I guess this show figured out some way to keep Hayase in the story. I'm really mad about it. Yeah, I just got done with the 19th episode of To Your Eternity. This is my thoughts on it. So yeah, we kick things off right where we left off. Town's being attacked by all these corpses, and at some point, we get a shot of Hayase, who's being kind of injected by one of these knockers, and she's like pretty much, you're doing it wrong. You have to be gentle with him. You can't just force your way into his life. Kind of like this. Two different perspectives of these two things are technically obsessed with Fushi, and she sees that things have to be gently done. But yeah, it kind of shows how super crazy she is that she just pulled the thing right out of her arm, which does come back to her later. She probably should have killed it at that point. Hayase is about to attack Tonari, and that's when Fushi comes in and tackles her down with his bear form and doesn't kill her again. And this leads to her pretty much taking Tonari hostage, as there's only 3 other knockers left, which is, again, Uroi, Uba, and Miya. So they're conflicted with killing those last 3 because obviously they know who they are. And that's when Hayase shows up, takes Tonari hostage, and pretty much tells him, I'll take care of them for you. You don't have to stain your hands. You've never stained your hands before. I'll be the one to do that for you. Tonari wakes up, makes her decision. It was her decision to finally do something that she wants to do, which was protect Fushi and pull Hayase into the fire. He obviously saves them. That kind of concludes things. Fushi finally steps forward and takes out the last 3 of them. They had a really cool scene after this because as everybody's kind of cleaning things up, they're kind of mourning the death of Miya, Uba, and Uroi. And the islanders come to take the bodies away because they're going to burn them all. And it was really cool to see the prisoners acknowledge the fact that Tonari and them came back, even though they had already left, to basically protect them. And so it's kind of shifting the narrative of the island itself as others. This whole situation that happened kind of brings everybody together. Yeah, as they were burning the bodies, they did have, they wanted to get some kind of speech from Fushi, and he's like, I ain't gonna be able to say anything. And when they asked Tonari, she's like, just tell them the pile of bodies will bring about evil. We need to kind of band together and help each other to prevent death, which is going to be obviously a huge change for the island since they've always sought out death through their arenas. And this is a decision that Tonari has along with Sando, that they're going to stay on the island and pretty much help it purify itself. And if anything comes to try to essentially mess up what they're doing, they'll make sure that they stop it. So they're going to make the island into an island that can purify souls. So if somebody does something wrong and comes to that island, they're not going to come there and wreck things. They're going to come there and be rehabilitated, basically, which is technically what a prison is supposed to do, so it kind of works. But yeah, after Fushi kind of helps him out a little bit, he decides to finally leave. He takes Hayase with her, and as they're out in the middle of the ocean, or wherever they're at, middle of the water, she finally wakes up, and he asks her, what does you want? What is your end game? She's like, I just want to be with you forever. I love you. I will show you what love is. Apparently she just wants to become a part of Fushi. I guess it's the mentality of, the becoming one, being immortalized through somebody else. And her whole desire at this point is for him to kill her and become her. She's like, of all the people that you have in you, I would be the strongest. Let me, kill me. And so I can be a part of you. And obviously, like he says when he leaves, creates a boat and walks away, or leaves, if you died, I wouldn't feel anything. I guess it's technically him implying, you wouldn't become a part of me anyways. So why even bother? Yeah, he did also ask Hayase why she killed March and Perona, and her mentality was that those two were keeping her from him, or keeping him from her. So she had to get rid of them. But of course, as he's leaving, a knocker shows up and supposedly kills her. So yeah, I'm certain somewhere down the line on the manga, you run into her again. They had to figure out some way of showing that she's going to be back later. I don't know. Like I said in, I think, my previous impressions, I want them to get rid of Hayase, and that would kind of make me not hesitate later. But after that scene, that tells me, no, Andrew, she's probably going to be further on in the story. You will run into... It's probably going to be a knocker as her, but knowing this writer and how long they've dragged out Hayase's character, I have no doubt that Hayase would, even being taken over by the knockers, would still retain herself, and she would just be super powerful Hayase with knocker genes rolling in her. I guarantee that. I would probably bet money on that. That's what they do with her character. She will be in later, and she will still be retaining herself, but she will be a knocker. Immortalized knocker. So that upsets me a lot. Because like I said, basically the conclusion of this is going to be really telling if I care to get back on the story, and they're not really showing any signs of that for me. But that basically concludes that island. It was cool to have at the very end. He's like, when I first arrived at the island, I was wanting to get back off of it. But then now, after everything has happened, he misses them. He misses the people of that island. So it has changed him quite a bit. It was even interesting when he finally gets to the dock of another village. He notices the crowd of people and he smiles, almost as if he's getting to a point now where he just wants to be with other people. Him himself has grown from being a traveler that doesn't want to associate with people because of the fears of death. Now he just enjoys the company of people, which is a conundrum for him because he can't really be around people. Interesting spot to put this at, because we only have one more episode left, and I don't know what they're going to do with a single episode. So, again, I haven't really seen any kind of signs of there being another season coming for this. And like I mentioned last time, this is only literally probably a third of the entire story that's currently out. Yeah, that about does it for this episode. Definitely a decent episode. Like I said, I'm upset more in the idea that they figured out some way of immortalizing Hayase at this point, and that just means that she's going to continue to be a theme in this story going forward, which I wasn't really looking forward to. Hopefully she just jumps up in the next episode and he finishes her off. Let's just hope that. Now that she's a knocker, he will not, delay killing her, and they can just put an end to that whole situation. But yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 19 of To Your Eternity. Sort of looking forward to the finale next week. Hope you guys join me for that and hear my thoughts on it. But I hope you all enjoy this video. If you did, leave a like down below. Comment, let me know what you thought of the episode. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video if you can. Support us on Patreon if you can. And y'all take care. Oh, I almost forgot. Tonari lived. We actually had somebody live. Oh, who am I kidding? Hayase will kill her later.